And Barry, of course, you're always on the hot seat first. Can you start by kind of level setting the difference between Gen AI, machine learning? I think these terms are used quite a bit in the industry interchangeably, but there are differences. So maybe if we start there, that kind of gives us a good base to move forward.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a good starting point. So generative AI has machine learning in it, but the two terms are beginning to take their own definitions as a common understanding of what we're talking about. Typically, people now, when they say machine learning, they're talking about predictive style models with a well-known set of data that is run through a statistical model, whether that's machine run or human run, and produces outputs that are for human or machine consumption. And they're typically numbered outputs. Quite often we're talking about a probability, a likelihood, some number like that. If you consider something like a claim duration, a complexity score, things like that are typically in the machine learning space. Generative AI, the easiest way to think of that is think of your ChatGPT experience and all of the arms and legs that's grown through OpenAI, through Claude, through the various application and model spaces that we work with today, where you're taking large amounts of unstructured data, asking unstructured questions, and returning an unstructured answer. Like, read this recipe book and find me a good recipe for these 15 things that are in my fridge. And then you come out with a bullet pointed list. You ask that exact same model in the same context, read Great Gatsby and write me a book report for my third grade book. By the way, here's how I write and here's some stuff. It's hugely unstructured, and that model is taking 1 billion parameters and doing unimaginable calculations to figure out how do I put back a natural language response to this query that is a completely different context than the last one, in a completely asking for a completely different output. So generative AI is that whole space where we think of large language model, LLM, large language model, and you think large language, huge context, huge variability, quite different to our initial, there's 20 million claims, I'm looking for this exact pattern through it. Here's the 20 attributes I should be looking at. Can we figure out the best path to figuring out this probability? So that's how I'd bifurcate them for the moment.
Well, thank you for that. And you just actually gave me a really good idea about when I figure out what I'm going to cook for dinner. Now I'm going to go ask ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot, this is what I've got in my fridge. What should I make for dinner? That's awesome.